Teresa, good question. Okay, so this is a little bit tricky when we get to it, isn't it? Because if you know anything about ancient Egypt, which obviously Teresa does, the process of mummification was very tied in to ancient Egyptian religion, which was not biblical at all. Wasn't worshiping the God who created the heavens and earth, the creator of and God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So we have these two key leaders in Israel's life, Israel himself and Joseph being mummified in the way of the Egyptians, which involved cultic practices. So taking out organs, putting incantations over them. So the ancient Egyptians believed that preparing the body for dead played a huge role in how your spirit survived in the afterlife. So there was a whole bunch of cultic ideas that went along with this.
So in other words, let me just stay here, that the afterlife that the Egyptians believed in related to the mummification, how they prepared their bodies for it.
Yeah, it was very tied in with how they prepared the bodies, how they prepared the tombs, what was buried with them. Very cultic in nature. So then we get to Jacob's death, and Joseph agrees to, or actually has him mummified in the way of the Egyptians. So what is that about? Well, we have to remember that Joseph was second in all of the kingdom of Egypt. He was, in a sense, Egyptian. He had taken on that role while still not compromising in his belief in God. So the Egyptians even allowing Joseph's father and Joseph himself to be mummified was a very high honor. This was a very expensive practice. It was conducted by the elite priests. So by Jacob and Joseph allowing themselves to be mummified, they were accepting a tremendous gift from the Egyptians. So we have to look at it that way. Is this God, Jacob, or Joseph somehow saying to the Egyptians, you're right in your religious beliefs? No, not necessarily. I can't speak for the personal beliefs of Jacob and Joseph, other than what I see recorded in the Bible. And we see Joseph very boldly saying to Pharaoh, it's not myself that can interpret your dream. I don't have special spiritual power, but I do know who has ultimate spiritual authority, and that is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of my fathers, the creator of the universe. So we see Joseph taking this very strong stance on what he believes is true, and at the same time still accepting gifts from people that he has been placed in charge of, which is the Egyptians. So I would say that we have to look at it that way. It is Joseph and Jacob allowing themselves to be treated and gifted by the Egyptians.
And the truth is that if God had a problem with that, all he would do, because he is the controller of time, all he would have to do is go back in time before they were mummified and get DNA so he can make them again.
Okay,
Absolutely
I guess
true.
if you want to look at it that way, I guess. But yeah, we have to keep in mind that God was speaking to the Egyptians as well. Mm-hmm. So, and God made the Egyptians. He made not their religious practices, but he made them as people. So it's interesting to look at it that way. Good question, Teresa. I love mummies. This is exciting.